Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I did the unboxing for this little harp a few days ago. This is an Aklot 15 string harp, and I'd like to just do a quick review of it and kind of talk about some of the things that I have noticed so far and some of the things that I really like about it and some things that are not my favorite. So let's go ahead. So this harp is about $130 for 15 strings, which is, I mean, it's a really good deal. You're not really going to find them that cheap. Even the Pakistani harps, the Rusbek and the carved rosewood harps, they're all quite a bit more expensive than that, and in my opinion are of way lower quality. Like, this is $130, so it's not comparable to like a Dusty Strings harp, but it's certainly way better than any Pakistani rosewood harp I have ever played on. And I will later in the video include a little comparison between this 15 string harp and an 8-string rosewood harp that I have, just so you can kind of get an idea of just how vastly the quality is different. It's a vast gulf. So some things that I did notice about this harp. When I first opened it, I saw the strings are not, I don't want to say they're not high quality because I don't honestly know, but to me they sound super plunky. Like, there's not a lot of sustain there. It's not like even a music box kind of cute little sound. It's just kind of, they sound plasticky almost, which is okay with me because also the strings have a very strange kind of color scheme. It goes, this harp is from C to C. So this C down here is green, then a green F, then a red C, which makes sense, but then a red F, and then another red C up here. So the coloring is kind of wonky, and that can really throw you off if you're trying to play a song. So I think what I'm going to try and do is change the strings with a string set that I already have that I got from Robinson's Harp Shop, which is generally considered pretty high quality. And I'm just going to see how it sounds with those strings instead of the strings that it came with. And that might solve the plunkiness problem, and it will definitely solve the strange color coding. But just to give you kind of an example, I will play another little bit later, but just so you can kind of hear. Those lower strings are quite nice, but once you get into the upper octave, it's plunky, I think, is really the only word that I can think of to describe that. Again, this harp is 2 octaves, C to C, with 15 strings. So you got C, which is actually a really decent amount of notes. If you're just trying to play something melodic with a super simple one-note accompaniment. A lot of kalimbas are in 2 octaves, so if you find kalimba music that you like, you could certainly play that on this little harp. And I know there are a couple teachers out there who have books for lap harps that are really small, like the 19-string wearing cardboard harp has a few books out there, so you could, I'm sure, adapt those to meet the 15-string limit. I also wanted to talk about the strap buttons on the harp. There's one up here on the neck too. I'm wearing the strap, so you kind of can't see it, but they're amazing. I tried to wear a harpsichord back when I had my sharpsichord, and it was just like too big and bulky. It just didn't work for wearing for me. But this one is so perfect. It might be a little difficult to balance on your lap if you were just trying to balance it, but with the straps, it like sits so comfortably on my shoulder, and I'm not at all afraid that it's gonna fly away or fall down, or any of the number of things that can happen. So I do love that. One thing I did want to point out is that if you're planning on sort of sprucing up the harp, like changing the strings like I'm planning on doing, you can see when I get close here that there is not very much room below those bridge pins. So you are going to have a really hard time. It's probably going to be impossible to put levers on this harp. And without levers, you're only really ever going to be able to play diatonically, which I don't find to be a huge problem. I think there are plenty of songs that are written for diatonic, no lever harp, and especially if you're doing kalimba music, you're going to find lots of diatonic things. So I don't think that will really be a big issue. But if levers are something that you're hoping to add to it, you should know that it's probably going to be really hard, if not impossible. I am really excited about this, primarily because I love to go to the park and play. But when I go to the park, I would not like to take a really big harp, because that's a lot of lifting and moving, etc. And also, I would not like to take a $2,000 harp to the park. Just call me paranoid, but $2,000 is a lot of money. And I would not like to, say, have the wind knock it over, or many of the numerous things that can happen when you're outside with a big harp. So in my mind, this is such a perfect solution. It's really small. I can put it on the strap. And yeah, I'm slightly limited in my repertoire by the no levers, but it's $130. So not a big deal if it gets a little bump or a scratch or gets knocked over, or, So I'm excited to carry this around this summer and do some fun playing. Okay, so now I'm gonna play a couple things for you. I will play a lullaby on this harp, and then play one on my 8-string rosewood harp, so you can kind of hear the differences in quality between these two really inexpensive pieces. And now I'm going to go change some strings and do some tuning, and you will get to hear what this harp sounds like when it is maybe fully in its own element. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you next time. Have a wonderful day.